Así arranca esta sección en donde pensamos, redefinimos, repensamos todo lo que tiene que ver con la industria de la música. Una industria de la música que hace un puñadito de años nada más precisaba de barcos, de aviones, de containers para mover de un lado al otro del planeta Tierra todo lo que tenía que ver con la industria del arte. No te digo solo de la música, sino, no sé, desde el vestuario de un teatro hasta una filmina de cine. Para hablar de todos estos cambios y todas las cosas que han pasado en el medio es que nos nutrimos de diferentes diálogos y por eso hoy vamos a hablar con los amigos de VOWWS desde Australia que ya están conectados con nosotros. Hi, my friend, are you listening me good?
Yeah, I think I can hear you good. Can you hear me?
Excellent. Todo tuyo, Raúl. Arranquemos nomás.
Vale, okay. We are live. We are going to start with the interview. Thanks for your time. I'm going to make a little translation for the Spanish listeners. So please tell us your full name, where are you from, and how old are you?
Okay. My name's Matt James, otherwise known as Matt Campbell. I'm from Australia. I'm in VOWWS, and I'm 35.
35, ok. Bueno, estamos hablando con Matt del grupo VOWWS. Está en Australia en este momento y tiene 35 años. And which is your first memory of you listening to music?
Ooh. I think I remember being in a stroller. You know, a stroller, like a pram?
No. Again, what is that?
Like I was a small child.
Okay.
And my mom's pushing me along in a stroller. And I was listening to a song called Shout to the Top by Style Council in the late 80s.
In the late 80s. Okay, perfect.
I mean, it must have been in the late 80s because that's when the song came out. I didn't know at the time that it was the late 80s, but, you know, looking back, I figured it out.
And you remember that? You were with your mother on the street, maybe?
Yeah.
Incredible.
I think it's the only memory I have like that, being that young.
Perfecto. Bueno, le pregunté sobre su primer recuerdo escuchando música y lo que nos dice que estaba en un cochecito con su madre en la calle y bueno, escuchó una música que él pensaba que era de los fines de los 80, pero que bueno, que ahora se da cuenta que es de los finales de los 80 y bueno, estaba recorriendo la calle con su mamá en un cochecito. And can you tell us which was your first instrument and which was the first song that you learned?
First instrument I learned was piano. I played piano from when I was like 7 till 9. First song, probably something really simple, you know, chopsticks.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Perfect.
Very, very simple.
And where do you get that piano? You were in school?
Yes. I used the school piano. My grandmother actually left my family a piano as well. So we had that in the living room.
Perfecto. Bueno, le pregunté por su primer instrumento y la primera canción que aprendió y dice que de los 7 a los 9 años él estudió piano y su abuela dejó un piano en su casa y probablemente la primera canción sea Chopstick, una canción bien simple. Can you tell us, when you were in Australia, you were young, there were any places to study music for free or you have to pay always to study music in Australia?
Yeah, I mean, at my school it was free. You know, like school, like music classes. I mean, my mother got me piano lessons. So we did that early on. And I did guitar lessons for free early on through school.
Perfect. Beautiful.
So you could do it for free.
Perfect.
Through school. But if you wanted really good, really special music lessons, you had to pay for it, you know.
It happens.
But I never got expensive lessons. I just did the cheap stuff.
Perfecto. Bueno, lo que nos estaba contando que en Australia él fue a una escuela que era gratuita, que era una escuela en donde se podía estudiar música, aprendió piano y después empezó a tocar la guitarra también desde muy chico. Y lo que dice que si después querés especificarte en eso, profesionalizarse, sí, hay que pagar y hay que pagar un montón, pero él realmente nunca tomó clases demasiado caras de música. And how did you get your first guitar?
I rented a guitar for 3 months.
Oh, okay.
My parents didn't think that I was going to keep playing, so they wouldn't buy me one. They said, I'll rent you a guitar for 3 months, and if you show some talent or you can play, then we'll buy you one. I was 12 years old, so I couldn't buy my own at that point.
Okay.
But yeah, I played it, and I suppose I showed that I was interested enough because they got me one.
Perfecto. Bueno, lo que nos contó que su primera guitarra fue alquilada, o sea, no fue una guitarra propia, la alquiló por 3 meses. La familia le dijo, mira, te presto esta guitarra 3 meses para ver si estás interesado, y bueno, y después sí le compraron su primera guitarra porque realmente estaba interesado. And can you tell us which was your first concert that you went?
Smashing Pumpkins.
Where?
Horden Pavilion in Sydney.
Oof. And it was which time of the Smashing Pumpkins?
I think it was 1999.
Oof.
Or 98, something like that.
Beautiful. Sí.
Like right when they were
in the peak.
At their peak. Yeah.
Espectacular. Bueno, y el primer... and you went alone or with some friends?
No, with one friend.
Nice.
My best friend.
Beautiful.
Bueno, with Darcy, ¿no? Los Smashing with Darcy.
Yes, exactly.
The original.
Wow.
I had a big crush on Darcy.
Everybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
Everybody, wow.
Muy bueno.
You saw Darcy on stage.
Impresionante.
Yeah.
Bueno, nos estaba contando que el primer show que fue los Smashing Pumpkins más o menos en el 97-98, fue con un amigo a Sydney, y estaban realmente en el pico de su carrera, y estaba enamoradísimo, bueno, de Darcy. Todos estábamos enamorados de Darcy en ese momento. And can you tell us when and why VOWWS began and why you put that name?
Riz and I have played together, my partner, my bandmate, and I have played together a little bit before we started VOWWS, but we started we started VOWWS, the project, in like 2015. And the reason we chose VOWWS, well, we tried to figure out a lot of different names. We didn't know exactly which one was going to work, so we just typed out like 100, 150, 200 different names just to see which one felt right. And almost every one of them felt wrong, so like you have to make sure you have a name that doesn't feel wrong. That's the big thing for us, right? The thing with the name VOWWS is it's like heavy. The name is heavy. With VOWWS, yeah, there's like a lot of commitment. It's an important sounding word. It means something to us, but it also it's neutral enough that it doesn't say anything wrong. It doesn't feel wrong. So for us, it was a neutral thing that we could get inside of, and it meant what we meant to say, but it didn't say anything wrong or bad, I hope that makes sense.
Yes, of course. Interesting. Bueno, le pregunté cómo empezó VOWWS y por qué le pusieron ese nombre, y lo que le estaba diciendo que ya venían tocando un rato antes con su compañera, y en el 2015 empezó VOWWS más o menos, y lo que ellos estaban tratando de buscar era una palabra que sea fuerte y que no sea la equivocada. O sea, lo que a ellos les importaba es que no sea equivocada. Tenían como más de 100 y pico de nombres, y eligieron VOWWS porque es una palabra fuerte, pesada, pero que no tiene ninguna connotación más que la que ellos le quieren dar, y que es algo fuerte y pesado, y que, bueno, eso les pareció que era la palabra correcta para hacerlo. I have a question. In June of 2013, you released your first EP, VOWWS. How was the recording process of that first EP?
We had a manager at the time. We haven't worked with them for years, but they got us in touch with a producer called Kevin S. McMahon. So he had worked with Swans and Real Estate. I don't know if you know the band Real Estate, like the indie band. Yeah, so he worked with them, Titus Andronicus. So we didn't know too much about him, but we knew that the records he'd worked on were like really interesting sounding records. And then as soon as we started working with him, we realized that he could help us figure out what our references were. So we were just writing music and not really thinking about where it came from or what influences we had. We weren't thinking about that very much. And he got our music and he started to point it towards a specific style. Exactly. And he was almost like a third member in terms of getting the sounds right. So we would take individual sounds and we would feed them through his equipment. And he had like a lot of really, really old vintage stuff. And it was a barn, like a farm in upstate New York. And it was really, really old. It was a like 200-year-old farm. And like he would have like his reverb was like an old grain silo, things like that. So the barn that we were recording at started to become part of the sound. And that was the sound for that 2013 EP. And it was also the sound for The Great Sun in 2015 and the next album in 2018. It was a very specific part of everything we did for a while. But each individual sound was very important. That was the main thing that I took away from that first recording, and we took that into each recording after that.
Sí. And sorry the question, but the sound is something abstract, for me at least. There is something physics, blah 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 blah. See, how do you imagine, or you don't imagine the sounds? For example, for me, it's really crazy stuff. I am working in logistics, moving boxes, and we don't fight about that. The box is now here and then there. But see, how do you fight about, I don't like that sound? And how do you manage that?
It's all intuition.
Intuition.
It's all how we feel. You have to just trust yourself to know what's right or wrong. You can't think about it too much. It just has to be what you feel. That's it. Perfecto. Bueno, le estaba preguntando, Manu, porque siempre te digo, para mí es mucho más fácil, o sea, esta caja va acá y va allá, y no hay pelea. En vez en el tema de los sonidos, es algo, aparte de ser tan físico, es abstracto, y lo que él me dijo directamente es que tiene que ser algo en lo que uno confíe. Listo, no hay más, tiene que ser honesto y en algo que uno confíe. In 2015, you released Losing Myself in You. How do you meet Gary Newman? That is incredible. Okay, well, I'll tell you, we never actually met him.
Sí. No, bueno, but you work with him.
Yeah. Again, we had someone at the time who introduced us to him, sent our music to him. Once I found out that we were able to get in touch with him, we wrote a song specifically for him. So, yeah, I remember we didn't live in LA at the time, but we were staying in LA, and we had rented an apartment. And I remember renting a microphone, writing the song on my computer, making a demo like really quickly. I think we did it in a day or something like that, or half a day. And we sent it to him, and he liked the song, so he said he would do it. That was it.
Simple, incredible.
Yeah,
exactly. For us, like reaching people that works with electronic music or that kind of stuff is like, what are they thinking about? That is what is interesting for us. It's incredible. Sí, Manu, ¿tenés alguna pregunta?
Sí, te la mandé a WhatsApp.
Sí, a ver.
La misma pregunta,
sí.
Pero así.
Sí. Después viene esa pregunta. We have a lot of questions. Sorry for that. But for us it's really interesting. Why do you choose to work with sounds and that kind of things on computer? You've been working a lot of time ago, and now it's like I'm modern. I'm do these kind of things. How do you feel about that?
About the question again. So how? Again, the question. Sorry.
See, I think that electronic music now is like, I have a computer, I can make electronic music, no? But you've been doing that for the last 20 or 30 years almost. How do you feel about that?
I mean, my main thing is it doesn't matter whether you're working on computer or with a guitar or with a piano or anything. The music you write is the most important thing. So the songs you write are the most important thing. You should be able to take one song, play it on piano, play it on guitar, program it on a computer, and whichever way you do it, it's a good song. That means it's a good song. If it's a bad song, it doesn't matter whether you do it on computer, piano, glockenspiel, harp, it doesn't matter.
Perfecto.
Pablo, en ese sentido, preguntarle un poco por la batería, que tiene un sonido muy post-punk. Y si me puede explicar cómo es el sonido del tacho post-punk.
Sí, Manu wants to know about a specific thing because of the sound of the drum, you know, and the
snare.
See, how do you manage the sound of the snare? Because it's really complex to get.
I love that sound.
Do you have a specific song you're thinking of, or a specific album you're thinking of?
No, because it's, your sound is like a post-punk sound for us, no? For us.
Yeah.
So, well,
yeah.
How do you manage to do that? To take the post-punk sound?
I distort a lot of things. So I like to get, I suppose there's a kind of 80s, like, snare sound where it's very, it explodes in a room, and then sometimes it explodes and then cuts out very quickly. I just use my ears. I just like things that sound dramatic. I like a strong backbeat. So I will distort something, and I will mistreat something until it sounds like what I want to hear. The snare sound, I like things with a strong backbeat. That's the main thing. You know, and I don't worry about whether it sounds like correct or not. I think that's the main thing.
Está perfecto, perfecto. Tiene la construcción, tiene oído, Manu. O sea, se fija muy bien. Sí, es oído. Y tiene muy bien hecho el concepto de qué es lo que quiere. O sea, y no le importa si suena mal, si suena bien. O sea, para lo que sea lo mainstream, y lo busca. Y lo que él dice, que por ejemplo hay sonidos muy fuertes que lo corta y lo mete porque él quiere un backbeat o sonidos de fondo que sean súper fuertes. Entonces va en búsqueda de eso y bueno, y lo consigue. Evidentemente lo consigue. We are talking like you, like es increíble. Sí. Muy bueno. Sí, I want to know, this is a kind of a personal question, because you speak a lot of about taste, you know, my taste, and how do you manage that on a band? And when you I trust this song and you give it to another person, how do you manage that?
It's always about Riz and I going back and forth until we're happy. You know, I write a lot of ideas, and I like a lot of ideas, and I try not to, when I'm writing and starting from scratch, from nothing, I don't think about whether it's good or not at all. That's really important to me. I need to be able to create without judging. But then when I show it to Riz, and then she has her ideas, and we go back and forth, there is a point at which we start deciding whether it's good or not, you know? Okay. And we start editing, and we never stop until the two of us are happy. So if one of us are happy, it's not okay, but it has to be two of us, and that's the only thing. We both need to be happy. Once we are both happy, then we know it's good. And sometimes each one of us will be half happy, but as long as both of us are happy, it's okay.
Perfect.
That's it.
Perfecto, lo que nos estaba contando, ahí es a donde está el truco, para llamarlo de alguna manera, Manu, que él empieza desde la nada con algo que no le importa si realmente está bueno o no. Entonces ahí le da un montón de libertad, digamos, jugar con un montón de cosas, y empieza un ida y vuelta con su compañera de banda, un ida y vuelta, y lo que es importante para ellos es que eso que empezó de la nada como una idea muy básica, sin importarle nada, cuando los dos están contentos realmente con lo que pasa, ahí siguen y empiezan a borrar, y ahí se transforma en canción. Pero empieza directamente de la nada, sin importarle cómo suena, lo que es, ni nada. Y después sí, cuando empieza el ida y vuelta, ahí empiezan a borrar y a limpiar las cosas hasta que están los dos realmente contentos y bueno, les gusta lo que pasa. Manu.
¿Cómo es el proceso de mezclar voces? Porque ellos no son una, son dos voces al mismo tiempo.
Sí.
¿Cómo se dieron cuenta que sonaban así? Si de eso hacen la banda, si se dieron cuenta un día, ¿cómo fue el proceso?
Manu wants to know about, you have two voices and you have to mix two voices. When do you feel, when did you know that both voices, the two voices were good to make a band?
We both love to sing. We're both very different. I remember being in a rehearsal room once and we were both singing together and I remember something clicked. I don't know. You know, it was very early on. I remember thinking our voices fit. As far I don't know exactly when we made that decision, but I remember just it felt right, you know? And you know when brothers and sisters, when they're growing up, they sing a lot together, so their harmonies are perfect. We're not brother and sister, but we've sung together for a long enough time that everything just feels right. I can't say exactly when it was, but I remember being in a rehearsal and just thinking, wow, this works.
Exactly. Bueno, es todo gusto y sensaciones, Manu. Son súper libres. Son súper libres. Sí. I think that you have a level of freedom in what you are making really important. Really important, and that is beautiful for us. Bueno, lo que nos estaba diciendo, le encontró cantando en un ensayo y dijo, esta voz está buena. Y lo que ellos dicen, lo que nos estaban contando, que eran como en un momento parecían dos hermanos, que cuando los hermanos son chicos, y aparte dijo hermanos pequeños, que es como el nacimiento de algo muy bueno, sin reglas, ¿entendés? El detalle, eso está bueno. Que cantan y tienen y se van conversando bien, y bueno, ya así arrancaron, pero no se acuerda específicamente el momento en donde él dijo, bueno, pero sí, fue en un ensayo.
Okay, I found the structure of your songs very strange, you know? You go to the chorus and the verse and the climax. Do you write this first or it's all natural?
Sometimes I write it first. Most of the time, it's more natural. Sometimes, so we write verse, chorus, or something like that, or beat 1, beat 2, or chord progression 1, chord progression 2, and then I take it to Riz, or Riz brings it to me, and we go back and forth, and we trust ourselves. Like you said, like we have some freedom. So we trust ourselves to do the right thing and we try not to think too much. But then sometimes when you start a song idea, sometimes it's like you just listen to what the song needs to be. It's not about me. It's not about my ego. It's about the song. The song speaks to you and tells you where it wants to go.
Excellent.
Sí, pasa.
What is your favorite chord?
I don't have a favorite chord. Every chord has a context, so it depends which chord comes before and afterwards.
That is the clever answer.
The cleverest answer.
I made for everyone.
Exacto, sí, tiene razón, tiene un contexto. Muy bueno, sí, muy bueno. We are going to make you just a couple of questions more. The cleverest answer, I love that. See, in November of 2022, you released Wait. Why do you choose Chelsea Wolfe to make that song, to sing?
It was after it was written. And we had known her for a long time. Well, not for a while. We knew her personally for a while. I think we made the decision maybe like a month or two, probably halfway through 2022. And we reached out to her because we thought she would be perfect. And we were really happy when she said yes. And then when she sent her vocals back to us, it had just amazing stuff. Like, sounds like a ghost, you know? She's got a beautiful voice.
Beautiful voice. Can you tell us, how do you feel when you make a video? Does the meaning of the song change, or is the same?
I think the perception of it changes. The meaning of the song doesn't change, but the perception may change a little bit. When I write music, I am inspired by Riz's visuals, and when Riz does visuals, she's inspired by my music. Like, we go back and forth like that.
Beautiful.
As well.
Beautiful. Muy buenos. Tienen un nivel, hermano, de generar música. Me parece que no paran de generar música todo el tiempo están pensando en música, súper interesante. Bueno, y dice que también se inspiran en videos y en cosas que se van pasando, así que hay de todo. Cambia la perspectiva del tema, pero no realmente la raíz de lo que ellos están diciendo. Can you tell us something about actual music scene in LA and in Australia?
Australia is a very difficult place to make a living doing music or get. It's you have to be lucky. You also have to be lucky in LA, but it's like a bigger place, so there's more, maybe more opportunity. Maybe there's a lot of good bands in Australia, and there's a lot of good bands in LA. So it depends, it just depends where you are and what you like. Australia is very much, a lot of Australians want to get overseas because Australia is a very small market. So it can be very difficult to follow music and do music in Australia. Again, it can be difficult in LA for different reasons. It's a bigger market, like it's more competitive. But that's where we live now. So we love it. But it's LA is LA. Everything you imagine is a little bit like that. Yeah.
Terrible. Thanks for that. Bueno, sí, nos estaba diciendo que Australia es un mercado un poquito más chico y todo el mundo trata de salir. Hay mucha gente que trata de salir. Los dos son difíciles, Los Ángeles y Australia, pero bueno, tiene un mercado un poquito más chico Australia, y lo que nos dice que se ríe, que todo lo que pasa, lo que dicen que pasa en Los Ángeles pasa en serio. Can you tell us something about your future plans with VOWWS?
Yeah, so we have a new album that we have finished, that we are ready to release. We have plans. I don't know how quiet I have to keep about certain things because there will be announcements and things like that. But I can say that we will be releasing new music next year. And we will be touring Europe next year. We have a lot of festivals and things like that. So yeah, it's going to be a very exciting year next year. It's been a long time. We've taken a long time to figure out how we wanted to write new music because we wanted it to be very different.
Oof. Bueno, we are going to expect a different album. Nice. Yeah. And see, I'm going to watch you in Europe. I'm going to be in one concert. Yeah. I promise that. See, I'm going to shout a lot. Only one more question. Thanks for your time. It's incredible to speak with you. See, and I love that you transmit a sense of freedom about music that is incredible. So I really appreciate that. See,
this music is beautiful, man. You just have to follow it.
Exactly.
Follow where you.
Sí. Nice, beautiful. Just to finish the interview, we are going to... Manu, ¿tenés alguna pregunta más?
No.
Todo perfecto, sí. We are going to play Impulse Control. Can you tell us something about that particular song?
Okay, yeah. So we went out to Joshua Tree in the desert in California, and I took mushrooms, and I started that idea. So it's all that's where it came from, and then it all went from there. And then we released it at the start of the lockdown. So it was all very fucked up.
Beautiful. Thanks for your time. It's incredible to speak with you. Keep on making music, honest music. I really appreciate to speak with you. Thank you very much for your time. We keep in touch, okay? Thank you.
Okay, thanks, man. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. Okay.